Hey to them ladies, them gentlemen, them fellas. Happy Saturday right now. Happy National Siblings Day. If you got a siblings out there, you got them, shoot them a text, shoot them a hug, shoot them a high five, dap them up, say, hey, yo, how you doing today? I appreciate you. And if you don't got one, well, just think what could have been. Hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You can't change it right now. But if you are an only child, you give your dad a call and just be like, hey, yo, can you reverse that vasectomy thing and try this thing out? We got a national holiday I'm trying to celebrate today. Anyways, top 10 plays of the day. Top schmacks on the day on a Saturday. Schmacks on a Saturday. We'd love to see it. So, starting right away. Number 10 play of the day. Corey Joseph. $4,000 Rooskies. And here's the thing. Why Corey Joseph? He started last game. He played pretty big minutes. Now, we'll have to see if he starts again. They started a lot of guards in that rotation last time out. Dennis Smith Jr. and Corey Joseph getting the start with no Jeremy Grant out there. Mason Plumlee questionable today for Detroit. But they're down Wayne Ellington. They're down Rodney McGruder. They're still down a lot of bodies out there. Check the starting rotation. Corey Joseph, if he does indeed get the start, will be in a pretty nice spot because, look, it's a 7-game slate, and he starts off the slate pretty cheap at $4,000. Now, in that last game, I'm not judging this based off of his last game's performance. Not by any means. I'm not expecting Corey Joseph to go out there and shoot 71% from the field again and just ball out. But Corey Joseph is somebody who's a decent producer. Not fantastic, but decent producer when he gets those 28 to 32 minutes like he did last time out. Corey Joseph in a very limited sample of about 120 minutes. If we take all the fellas off the court for that are not on this Detroit team when Corey Joseph has been there, mainly Jeremy Grant, but also Wayne Ellington, Rodney McGruder, and those types, you're going to get around a fantasy point per minute producer. Now that small sample is propping him up because he shot 71% last time out. Again, it is only a 105-minute sample, which is about 3 or 4 games. But that being said, even if I give Corey Joseph 0.85 fantasy points per minute, assuming he starts again and gets you 28 to 30 minutes, he's going to start to grade out for a guy that gets you in the mid-20s in fantasy points at just $4,000 flat, making him, as of right now today, our number 10 play on the slate early on. Other injury news outside of that from Detroit that we talked about. Fred VanVleet remains out, and Kyle Lowry is now questionable. I'm projecting Lowry in. Plumlee is questionable today. I'm projecting him out. He's dealing with a concussion, and he has not yet passed the protocol as of game day morning. So we would have to pass it this morning. If that news changes, we'll obviously change it in the projections. Jordan Clarkson, doubtful, projecting him out. Bradley Beal is questionable. I'm currently projecting him in. Caruso is questionable, and so is Kyle Kuzma from the Lakers today. Yusuf Nurkic is out. So you know what it is today. It's Enes Kanter's night. Cheers to that one with the big old coffee. It's Enes Kanter's night for us fellas here. Darius Baisley returns, making all of OKC overpriced today. And John Wall is going to be questionable today. They said he missed on Friday due to rest. So I assume maybe he's back to play today, but we don't know what John Wall this year. He's been all over the place in terms of what they're doing with his playing time. So if you're here right now, put your hands in the air like you just don't care. Welcome to National Welcome to National Siblings Day. Welcome to National Farm Animals Day. A lot of stuff going on. So 2 seconds of your time. Like, subscribe. We will be live later tonight around 5 p.m. East Coast time for this 7-game slate. The slate starts at 7:30, so around 5 p.m., 5:30 p.m. There's also MMA today, but it starts around noon. It's starting early, noon Eastern time today. It's a massive 14-card fight. We have some content on this channel for that, so be sure to check it all out. Be sure to check it all out. Inside the top 10, we go. The number 9 play today is going to be a teammate of Corey Joseph's, and that is going to be Josh Jackson. Now, Josh Jackson is actually a good producer. Last time out, he just has to get the minutes. He started last time out because Jeremy Grant ended up missing, but you have to keep in mind what's been happening in these games. Josh Jackson fills a shooting guard and small forward spot for you, and he's a strong producer. He averages right around a fantasy point per minute on the season. In that last game, it wasn't a great game for him. He only played about 26 minutes, but he started the game and closed the game out. I expect Josh Jackson to play a little bit more than that. I'm giving Josh Jackson 28 minutes of play today at around a fantasy point per minute of production, and he's just $5,000. So Josh Jackson for me is projecting out for around 28 or fantasy points or so early on in the day. He also shot poorly last time out, which is not going to be Josh Jackson shooting literally 30%, 4 of 13. The shot attempts was the big thing, right? A couple games back, you got him to shoot 21 times, and he scores over 40 fantasy points. If we can get that again, that's fantastic. But the shot attempts was the big thing. Getting 13 shot attempts is what we have not really seen out of Josh Jackson all that much lately. So with increased minutes comes increased shot attempts. This is that exact same screen right now I just showed for Corey Joseph. Josh Jackson plays the second most minutes on this team, so an even bigger sample, averages 0.95 fantasy points per minute, leads the team with a 25% usage rate. You love to see that. Has a nice assist percentage, nice rebounding rate, and about 200 minutes of play with Jeremy Grant off the court and some of these other fellas that are going to be missing today for Detroit. So Josh Jackson actually has a ceiling to him. The shot attempts were nice to see. He's somebody who's going to be shooting a lot better than 30%. Even if he's not a great shooter, even if he's only shooting 47, 48% true shooting percentage on the season, just give us your average shooting percentage, Mr. Josh out there. If you can get 12 and 14 shot attempts, and he's going to pretty easily start knocking down for you 30 plus fantasy points at $5,000 flat. The number 8 play in the day is going to be Russell Westbrook. Look, Bradley Beal's uncertain. This is with Bradley Beal in. Russell Westbrook's just a triple-double machine, a 60-plus point nightmare right now. He's averaging 1.5 fantasy points in the season. I'm projecting him for 37 minutes today, 1.5 fantasy points a minute in production. The team total is nice of a 109 team total. That's completely fine. And around an average pace environment spot versus Phoenix. Phoenix likes to pull down that pace. Washington likes to pull it up. And if Bradley Beal is out, I have it written in my notes right now. He goes to be top 1. What does top 1 mean? The number one big old $100 bill. Number 1 play in the slate. would be Russell Westbrook if indeed you saw Bradley Beal miss. There's no pay-up options today. Like, this is the thing, right? There's obviously some names up there, but there's nobody that you feel that secure about. There's Russell Westbrook, who I do, right? Then you have Harden out. Then you have Kyrie, who's just overpriced. You have Steph Curry, who's been playing fine at 10,100, but not as good of a game environment as he had last night. You have Joel Embiid, who's still getting his minutes ramped up, but he's already 10K. No LeBron. Lillard, who, yes, there's no Nurch, but it hasn't looked great since McCollum's come back, and now you're already down to the 8K range, right? Durant's probably going to have his minutes limited. Beal is questionable today. Now you're already down to this 8K range pretty quickly. So if you're looking for secure pay-up options, the only one that I currently see on the slate that you feel really, really confident about a floor of like 45 to 50 points is Russell Westbrook. He's on number 8 play. Number 6 is 7 play on the slate. We go over to Cleveland right now. And look, Cleveland's an interesting team because they got a lot of power forwards out and a lot of power forwards producing right now, right? They have still bigs like Jared Allen, power forward Larry Nance out, and they have power forwards producing in limited minutes. Kevin Love. Now you see Toriyon Prince and Dean Wade getting some action, but now Isaiah Hartenstein. This is the thing. We'll pull it up right here. We'll look at the game flows. Isaiah Hartenstein continues to come off the bench. This is now back-to-back games where he's played 27 minutes off the bench, but the minute security is the thing. Now these are 2 blowouts, so people might just say, oh, Isaiah Hartenstein's getting blowout run. No, that's not true. He's coming off the bench and he's getting decent minutes. In the first quarter, he's playing 5 minutes. In the second quarter, he basically comes in and he plays like 6 minutes. So he's getting 11 minutes in the first half. Not great to see, so that's going to get you only 22 minutes, right? No, wrong. He's actually getting more extended run in the fourth quarters. He closes out the game. This game did indeed blow out, right? Cleveland ends up winning this game by like 25 points. But he's still getting run in this game with Colin Sexton and Kevin Love and Cleveland's starting unit. And Darius Garland's closing out the game, and Kevin Love, who's on a minutes limit, is getting 6 minutes, 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. And the same exact thing happened in the game before. So Isaiah Hartenstein in this regard is kind of blowout proof. Whether the game blows out like right here, he's getting the minutes. If the game doesn't blow out, he's getting minutes. The only concern is that in that last game, Kevin Love only played about 24 minutes because he's still on somewhat of this minutes limit between like 24 and 30 or 24 and 28, it seems at this point. So if Love starts to consistently play 30 and 32 minutes, then that's where Hartenstein starts to get squeaked out because Toriyon Prince and Dean Wade are playing a lot of minutes at the 4. Hartenstein's basically getting a lot of backup center minutes right now. So Hartenstein will get squeaked out if Love's minutes restriction comes off. If Love plays 28 minutes, Hartenstein's probably only playing 20 to 22 minutes at most in that situation. And that's because of the security and minutes in the play right now of Dean Wade, how much they like him and want to see what he has, and also Toriyon Prince, the former Brooklyn Net. The number 6 play in the slate, and as we get into the number 6, this is 6 play on the slate. DJ spin that top to top 6 on a Saturday. How you doing out there, everybody? We got right now, sponsor of the program is going to be Prize Picks. Prize Picks, people are crushing it. People are slinging the dollar rooskies. Yesterday, there was a lot of bad beats on Prize Picks. I ain't going to lie to you. I saw some of them in the Discord. I had some of them as well. People missing out like Karl Anthony Towns by 0.7 points. People missing out by like 0.5 points in the neighborhood. You don't love to see it. You don't love to see it. You're just getting bad beats. So 2 nights ago, 3 nights ago, everybody's winning 10x, $100 into $1,000, right? My man in the Discord turning 75 into 750. Everybody's winning. And then yesterday, we had some bad beats. So we're right back on the saddle today. They had top 8 props are already out. It is a player props. It simplifies it. It makes it very simple for you. You take the over-under. Player props, fantasy points. Here we are for NBA fantasy points. The over-under on these guys. Early on, 8 props, more props throughout the day right now. I encourage you to try it out. A lot of people having fun with it. There's their own Discord channel. If you're a patron right now, you have access to projections, and you have access to that Prize Picks channel where people are talking literally nonstop. There's probably 500 messages a day, if not more in there, right? There's so much stuff going on in there. You have a massive leg up, so be sure to sign up. So right now, what I like early on is Donovan Mitchell on the over. Donovan Mitchell, for me, starts to project out for the upper 40s in fantasy points today. So give me the over there. The only difference is that they give you an extra bonus points for steals and blocks. So if you're going on the over compared to DraftKings. So if you're going on the over, it's even better for you, right? You're just going to get bonus points there. And if you want to be following these, you can check them out. We'll have more later on in the day on the live stream, but you can check them out. Linked down below is Prize Picks. You go over there, use the code SAL. They say, oh, you know Sal, you coming from Sal? We'll match whatever you have up to $100. So buy one, get one free on your money's worth. You put in $20, you get 20 right back in a deposit bonus. You put in 50 back, all the way up to $100 rooskies. That code SAL, S-A-L, lets them know you came from me. And then the second one, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm kind of holding out right now. Siakam, I like the over if Kyle Lowry misses. So if Kyle Lowry is in, it's kind of appropriately priced. So Siakam, I like the over if Lowry misses, but we have to wait on that. Sexton looks kind of nice right now. Dennis Smith Jr. in a good environment against Brooklyn looks kind of nice, leaning overs, but it's only like a 1.5, 2 point difference for me. Sexton around 37, 38 fantasy points. So Siakam is the over if you're feeling a little bit risky and you want to be taking the over and assuming Kyle Lowry is out. Even if Lowry's in, it's not a terrible wager, but I like it more so if Kyle Lowry is out. Be sure to get in before these props change. I think Donovan Mitchell will probably move to 43 or 44 while the day goes on. That usually happens on some of these guys that we like. And then Siakam right now, if Lowry is out, I really like that over on him. Again, that code SAL, S-A-L, lets them know what you came from me. Be sure to check it out. Linked down below in the description. Prize Picks. What are you waiting for? Go get your dollar rooskies. It's less time extensive and a little bit more ease to winning the dollar Ruskies. My man Derek hit me up on Twitter saying that he turned $100 into $1,000, so $900 overnight making that. That's not bad. You make $900 in a night, that's $300,000 per year. Obviously, it's hard to sustain that, but he did that on Friday, and he said that he was now being able to take his kids and his girl to dinner and a movie this weekend, and I just love to see that. Now you can just have a huge, get all the candy you want, kids. Oh, you want the large popcorn? You want the large soda? You want refills? Fuck it, we're doing it all tonight because we got them Prize Picks dollar Ruskies. That's awesome. I fucking love hearing that. So that number 6 play in the slate, we were talking about him somewhat, right? Like these power forwards and these bigs from Cleveland today. Toriyon Prince at 4,600. There's a lot of decent value already on the slate, let alone if more is going to open up as the day comes on. Toriyon Prince, the benefit you get from him is he's small forward eligible still. He's playing bigger minutes as of late. Now, Toriyon Prince is coming off the bench, and you can see that right here from Cleveland's minutes. In their last game, Toriyon Prince comes off the bench. So again, the pause on Isaiah Hartenstein, is there something happening with these blowouts in terms of their run? I'm not too sure, but you can see Toriyon Prince in this last game. In the first half, he's playing about 12 minutes in the first half, so 24 minutes over the course of the game. Not great, but also not terrible. He's getting to close out this game and plays basically the final 16 minutes. Now, the final 16 minutes for Toriyon Prince, I'm not too sure how much I rely on that. Maybe he plays the final 8 minutes if he's actually closing out games. So the blowouts are the concern with Toriyon Prince as well. Dean Wade starting and getting some additional run, maybe a little bit more secure of a play for you. Dean Wade just outside our top 12 today. But Toriyon Prince at $4,600 is playing well as of late, right? And if he's playing well, they're going to keep him on the court. 32, 26, and 28 minutes over the last couple of games. I'm going to project today Toriyon Prince for around 25, 26 minutes. That'll probably project him out for me for right around 25, 26 fantasy points, and he's only 4,600. So we don't even need the big 30-plus point performances that he's had in each of his last 3 games. We don't even need him to play 28, 30 minutes. It would be nice, right? But even if he's getting blowout run, and you say, okay, he's only going to play 24, 26 minutes, let's call it 25 minutes out there. This is a guy who has been averaging, and very productively this season, close to like 0.85, 0.9 fantasy points per minute. So he still projects out for me for somewhere around 25 fantasy points at below $5,000. Again, Dean Wade, another guy from Cleveland who doesn't make this list, but in a similar vein in terms of my interest. Number 5 play of the day is Donovan Mitchell. It's kind of a factor of a couple of things here. There's no Jordan Clarkson, so Mitchell in the season without Jordan Clarkson does average 1.3 fantasy points per minute. It's not a major difference. He goes from 1.27 to 1.3, but it is a little bit of a bump there, and you know what you're getting out of Mitchell. Probably 34, 35, 36 minutes in a nice game environment with the highest team total on the slate of 122 team total. That is very good to see. And like we were saying earlier with Russell Westbrook, there's not a lot of pay-up options. There's not a lot of secure and great pay-up options. I mean, even Pascal Siakam in the 8K range jumps off and not being as good of a pay-up option if indeed you get Kyle Lowry out there. So that's the concern that you're going to be having here. Donovan Mitchell just gives you a decent option. Do I want to pay $8,800 for Donovan Mitchell? No. But on a slate with a lack of pay-up options, no Jordan Clarkson, and a below $9,000 Donovan Mitchell, who has been pretty secure just in shot attempts alone, over 20s in almost every single game, that's where it starts to become a little bit more appealing. And you take into account a 122 team implied total, that bumps up his projection even more. Inside the top 4 we go, a man that we liked yesterday because he's playing big minutes, and is going to be Mr. Kelly Oubre. He's playing big minutes. They're giving all these stars big minutes. Kelly Oubre comes out there yesterday, doesn't let us down. Small forward eligible, we're going right back to him. He's played 37 minutes in 3 straight games, and he scores 37 fantasy points last time out. He has now scored 32 or more fantasy points in 3 straight games, in all those games getting those 37 minutes, and the shot attempts are there. Even with Steph Curry getting a lot of shot attempts, even with Draymond Green getting a lot of assists, even with Andrew Wiggins having himself a nice game, almost 40 fantasy points yesterday, you were still getting Kelly Oubre to get his. Now, that was in a very nice game environment of 123 team implied total, but it's not like it's a terrible spot today. You're getting this Golden State Warriors team with a 118.5 team implied total against Houston. It only gets better if some guys were to miss even more for Houston. So I'm giving today Kelly Oubre 35 minutes, not even the 37 that he's been getting, 35 minutes at around a fantasy point per minute production. He's going to project out for me for 34, 35 fantasy points at just $6,200. Makes him easily a top 5 play in the day as it stands right now. Now, a couple of things as we get inside the top 3 plays on the slate. The first thing is that Patreon. Check it out. We got a link down below. No better time to sign up than right now, right now. The weekend content that we got going in there. Patreon projections you're going to be getting access to for a bunch of different sports. MMA today, PGA for next week. We're going to be getting the RBC Heritage after the Masters. You got a bunch of stuff. MLB projections daily, NBA, updated up and throughout lock. So be sure to check it all out. The access to the Discord, the lineup optimizers, all in one very, 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 very nice place for you. Makes it really easy. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have all those tools, especially at a value price. Just me here trying to give the best price in the industry because I don't got to support 50 employees or so. So it's a little bit of a benefit for us. We got a nice little niche spot here. Want to come in, join the community. 350 people to 400 people or so in the Discord. Hop up in there, say what's up, how you doing, what's popping. The whole goal of it is to reduce your research time and make it even easier for you to have a better chance at winning money. So you have to put less work in on your end to have a greater chance of actually winning just with all the tools and analysis and all that type of stuff. So be sure to check it out, linked down below. Would love to have you if you come in, hop into the Discord and say, hey, I'm brand new here. And we'll be like, hey, yo, how you doing today? Your number 3 play in the slate is Andre Drummond. Last time out, we had him in the projections for 27 minutes and a decent play, and he played 27 minutes, and he was a more than decent play. He was 6,500, For whatever reason, the price point hasn't changed. He's in a very nice spot against Brooklyn today, right? Brooklyn, I mean, you're looking at not many guys down low that are going to be putting up any fight against Andre Drummond, a team that he maybe could have signed for, right? They opted out to go for some other guys. A 108.75 team implied total. Look, the rebounding rate was there. We wanted to see what was going to happen with Andre Drummond. He came back and barely played, right? The end of March 31st, plays 14 minutes, gets hurt. We don't really see much out of him in that 14 minutes. Didn't really look great. Then he comes back. He looks fully healthy. His toe's not broken anymore. He plays 27 minutes, 12 rebounds, gets you your basic double-double out of Andre Drummond. I do believe that Andre Drummond is going to very quickly be, let's just call it $7,200 to $7,500, like the Clint Capella pricing range before Capella started popping off the last week or so. I think that's going to happen very quickly. I'm surprised he's not already $7,000 or at least like $6,800. Drummond, you're getting a very cheap price point on for a center at $6,500 who is going to be pretty secure, I would say, for 25 plus minutes as long as the game stays close. I'm going to give him 27 minutes, 28 minutes again today. It's a nice spot for him against Brooklyn. Drummond, for me, projects out as it stands for around 35 fantasy points at just $6,500. The number 2 play on the slate, you're going to get some centers in here. Spoiler alert, another center. It's Cantor, whose price point is dropping, who doesn't have Yusuf Nurkic out there anymore, who's averaging 1.1 fantasy points per minute. When he actually gets minutes this year, he's going to be beneficial for you. So he's not going to play like you saw the last time out, 21 minutes. Sal, why did he only play 21 minutes? Well, Nurkic played 22 minutes, so they split the minutes at center for the most part. But in the 2 games where Nurkic missed, 30 and 36 minutes for Cantor, 44 and 38 fantasy points for him. Oh, wheels up, baby. This should be a $7,000 player that you're getting in the $5,000 range. Cantor is a fantastic smash spot option. I have him for 28 minutes today. He's averaging 1.14 fantasy points per minute. I'm not even giving him that with McCollum back. I'm giving him 1.1 fantasy points per minute. Wheels up for Cantor. He'll probably be highly owned today. I don't care. The matchup against Detroit and Mason Plumlee at best, right? At best today, they're going to have Mason Plumlee out there. Otherwise, if he's going to miss with this concussion, a concussed Mason Plumlee out there, right? With some concussion fog, I mean, that shit actually lingers. Then it's going to be like Isaiah Stewart out there and Tyler Cook or whoever they're going to be putting at power forward and backup center then. So Cantor, fine option. He's gotten it done against really tough opponents this year, whether it's Joel Embiid, whether it's Rudy Gobert, some of the toughest competition, Nikola Jokic. He's been playing fantastic against those guys. His offensive game has probably never looked better, so it's going to be all the way up there as long as he stays out of foul trouble today against Detroit. And the number 1 play in the slate, we had to make some assumptions, right? I'm assuming that Mason Plumlee's concussion keeps him out yet again, because as of this morning, he has not passed the concussion protocol, which you probably should be passing that if you're playing, and that's the rules. So Isaiah Stewart, I'm projecting Mason Plumlee out, which means I'm projecting Isaiah Stewart in. Isaiah Stewart and Cantor are very close for me. Assuming that Plumlee does indeed miss, I have Isaiah Stewart today at $4,500, projecting out for 30 minutes of play for me in about a fantasy point per minute. So when you're going to be projecting out for me for around 28 to 30 fantasy points and you're only $4,500, of course you're going to be looking like a 6x play. Isaiah Stewart last game out with no Plumlee, right? The last 2 games, 28 minutes and 33 minutes, but the last one he actually got to start. So 33 minutes of play, goes for 16 and 13, a nice little double-double, 42 plus fantasy points. Obviously, that's an outlier performance. He shot 80%, 8 of 10, but he is a center who's going to shoot close to the basket. He is going to shoot 65% true shooting percentage. So Isaiah Stewart looks like a strong play today. As long as he ends up getting the start with no Mason Plumlee, expect close to double-digit shot attempts, expect close to double-digit rebounds, and that's when we can get them nice double-doubles for us. So there's the top 10 schmacks of the day. The other assumption I will say is if John Wall was to miss yet again, Kevin Porter Jr. will be a top 10 play for me. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all a ton. Hey, it's weekend content from Sal. Sal on a Saturday giving you the schmacks. Sal on a Saturday giving you the smacks. Put that thing on repeat. Put that thing on a motherfucking t-shirt. All I ask, like, subscribe. That's all I ask. Like, subscribe, notification bell so you can join us later at 5 p.m. East Coast time for a live stream, right? Answer your questions, build some lineups live on the optimizer, that type of stuff. You want to check out the optimizer? You want to check out the projections, all the updates, all the news that's going to be coming out? We'll update it all. Linked down below on Patreon. Get in there, get into the Discord, and finally support the sponsor of the program. Allows me to make this content that I love doing and hopefully you all enjoy. Again, early on right now, my favorite option is Donovan Mitchell over 42, and it's very close depending on after that. Siakam right now over 43 is where we're at, but be sure to check out the other lines. They come out pretty early, right? They're going to be coming out in an hour or 2 after this, so by the time you're probably seeing this, other lines are probably out. Check them out. Use the code SAL, S-A-L, when you sign up. It gives you a free money match. There's a link in the description below. Free money bonus up to $100. That is code SAL, S-A-L. Let's know which game from your boy. That is me as in Sal. That is Sal as in Vetri. That is how you doing today. Hopefully you have a great start. You're already having a great start to your weekend. Happy Saturday out there. Happy Farm Animals Day. Happy National Siblings Day. You all rock. Enjoy the rest of your day today. Enjoy anything you got going on. Live in the moment. That's my message to you all today. Live in the moment. A lot of people are looking towards the future. They're looking towards the past. They're reminiscing about the past, right? They're FOMO. They're looking towards the future and stressing about finances and about what they're going to be doing in relationships. Live in the now. The power of now. Not a lot of people live in the now right now. It's a pretty magical thing when you can just let all those worries escape you and just live in the exact moment. Lots of powerful things happen. So there you go. There's our preacher to the choir on a Saturday. You all enjoy the rest of your day, gang. Appreciate all of you a ton.